Bingo Blitz rules.
If your bingo has ads in it,
That's not a bingo.
if it doesn't have the coolest tournaments, mini games, and the most breathtaking design,
Nope, not a bingo.
if your bingo moment makes you feel so excited that you just want to burst in joy and scream out loud, bingo! Sorry, so you're playing...
Bingo Blitz? Now that's a bingo. Discover a world of excitement with Bingo Blitz, the #1 free bingo game. Download Bingo Blitz and play for free.
Now that's a bingo.
Contained herein are the heresies of Radolf Buntwine, erstwhile monk turned traveling medical investigator. Join me as I study the secrets of the divine plagues and uncover the blasphemous truth that ours is not a loving God, and we are not its favored children. The heresies of Radolf Buntwine, wherever podcasts are available.
Are you going to lead us in with your...
I don't know what you're talking about.
Fisting Friday! Oh my god. It's like I knew it was coming, but I still can't fucking prepare for it.
Well.
Welcome to Fisting Friday, where we read the results of last week's episode of But Am I Wrong?
If you're new to listening to our podcast,
apparently like I am.
don't start here.
No.
Go to yesterday.
Yesterday is where you will understand what we are voting on. Not the specific ones, but, we're reading the results from last week. So this was episode 57, which is wild. We're just really crawling up there with episodes.
First up, me. People who are disrespectful to service workers. Who's wrong? 1% said I was wrong. 99% said I was not wrong. Little ducky that's calling the police.
And those two people who said you were wrong messaged and said, she's not wrong, that was my bad. Then mine, I was pitching that the aesthetification.
I didn't know how to spell this word. I just made it up, so.
Melissa, I
know you made up the word, but then I had to make up the spelling for it.
That's totally fine. The aesthetification has gone too far. 4% said I was wrong, and 96% said I was not wrong. I did screenshot something that someone said that I thought was relevant, or it was. I mean, it is relevant because it's about that. Come on, where did I put my screenshot?
It's probably your photos.
Wow, thank you, fucking Captain Obvious. Hey guys, I just listened to the latest But Am I Wrong podcast, and oh my god, the intro, amazing. I couldn't agree more about tipping. About Meghan's But Am I Wrong, I always avoid those videos because I don't like seeing overconsumption and how not eco-friendly it is. I also viewed it as flaunting the fact because they have a whole drawer dedicated to themed chocolates, but after listening, you've totally changed my view. As a younger person who's grown up with social media, it's taken a lot to unlearn toxic social media and see what's really going on. Unfortunately, it's very difficult to critically think when we're looking at the short-form, fast-paced content. The creators are not transparent about what's actually going on. Just how we learned that the Kardashians facing everything, as the consumers of the content, we need to put in the mental work to understand this as well. Thank you for opening my eyes and relieving a lot of the guilt.
Someone said these videos provide a sense of calming and the same feeling of accomplishment as cleaning your house, but then they actually don't. If you aren't struggling with mental health and enjoy them, great, but I think there's a fine balance between art and advertising. They're specifically talking about somebody using cleaning products. That's not what you were.
No, but I agree with that exact take, that it's like, I think that the reason why they blow up is there are a lot of people who don't view it as kind of like the traditional gender roles version of hustle culture, of like keeping up with all of that kind of shit. But at the end of the day, I don't find a quick second like that. Like, I think YouTube videos of cleaning where it's like an hour long and it's like, oh, you can clean your house and watch the video while you're kind of in it together. But in that fast-paced content, it's not going to take 60 seconds for you to do that. And you're not taking inspiration from that when it's just no one's giving you tips and no one's being like, here's a great way of how to clean this or what to do with this and this and this.
But this specific one, it wasn't even like really showing the products. It was more just them cleaning.
Yeah. It's a difference.
Yeah. Then we've got writer number 1 versus not getting friends a wedding gift. 13% said the writer is wrong. 87% said the writer is not wrong.
And someone responded and said, I was a bride who told people not to feel obligated to get us gifts, and I genuinely meant it. My best friend flew to Georgia from Las Vegas, and the last thing I wanted was for him to spend money on a gift. I feel bad enough that he had to pay for a plane ticket. Oh, she also responded to this one. I feel so strong on my vote. Am I wrong? I feel so strongly on this one. Hence, this is my first time writing in, and I couldn't agree with Meghan more. What irks me beyond belief is when, for example, after they've put everything in their aesthetic containers and then show off the inside of their fridge, and I'm like, that is so not practical. It's all just clear containers with fruit and snacks. Where are the other items? Like, come on. I'm all for organization, but these videos aren't showing how to incorporate organization into real life fridges. That is like such a good fucking point, because like, I like the ones that are like, they show you how to store fruit and like things to make it last longer, or for like more ease of use for snacking and stuff like that. But then especially when it's like families that are like, and they'll just be like, oh, we just took out the leftovers so you don't see them in here. And it's like, well, if you have them and you are someone who has leftovers in your fridge, like it would be great to show for people to see it.
Sometimes though, they'll make videos that aren't correct. Like at one point, that thing was going around about people storing avocados in water. And that actually makes the avocado almost poisonous to you. So, like, you have to be careful what you're consuming, because that caught on like wildfire. And, like, I saw somebody I know post it, like, months later, and I was like, absolutely do not do this. And I sent them the thing from the FDA. Like, some people are careless about what they're posting, too.
And some people just see a video. So, like, I'm not gonna start shit with the community that washes their chicken. But a lot of people saw videos of people who like mentioned that they wash their chicken. And so then they started washing their chicken, but they don't know that if you're going to do that, you have to scrub down your fucking sink and then all of your counters and all of that stuff. And then it's like, oh no, you're being influenced by a TikTok that mentioned something in passing. And then now you're showing people and you're not educating on the cleanliness act of it.
Also on that, I feel like that's a cultural thing, because I do feel like most people of color do wash their chickens and things and poultry, and we just know to clean. So it's
exactly. And so this person, it was not a white person who mentioned it in passing, and then there was a white creator who was like, oh, and then I washed my chicken, and I was like, oh no, this is
like for you like that for you, that's like a thing where you're like, you gotta show. And I'm like, that's common sense.
No, that's what I mean. To me it's common sense too, but then the second creator making the video and then washing their chicken and not cleaning it, that I'm like, oh no, you heard that
the first time ever.
Oh my god. Melissa spilled her water.
Shut up.
And I've been telling her for fucking years to put a lid on it. But we're covered in technology. Oh my god. She just spilled it on the floor on her phone.
The phone's fine. They're waterproof.
They're water resistant.
Yeah, but I moved it before.
If you can't hear her, she's saying they're waterproof.
You can be right for once. One time.
I'm right all the time.
But, like,
I don't know what you're talking
it's
about.
happened. I mean, this is the first and second time that it's happened ever.
First and second. Well, I'm glad I was here to witness it, because if I wasn't here, you definitely would not have told me.
No.
And I just would have suddenly...
It only happened because my foot got numb. And if I'm sitting here by myself, I'm not going to be sitting here. I'd be sitting over there with my legs stretched out.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm glad that we salvaged all of this.
I'll have to get you a new notebook.
Oh, it's okay. Yeah, it's pretty wet.
Yeah, it's very wet.
I'm seeing it just got a big dimple on the bottom. Okay. Next up, we had writer number 2 versus telling the company they...
Wait, did we finish the bride thing?
Oh, maybe I didn't... I think I read the whole message.
Well, I was going to read some.
Oh, go ahead.
I voted wrong this one. As a recent bride, I didn't notice who got us gifts or didn't, but if the writer wants to get the couple a gift, I think she should. I wanted somebody like in the 13% to say like they should be getting gifts, but nobody said that.
I know. Like,
if you're going to make a bold statement, I feel like you should be letting us know why.
And also, that's not racist. Like, you know what I mean? Like, of all of the things to offer, like, an unpopular explanation for, it's not problematic. Like, It can be, like, kind of bitchy or whatever, but, like, I'm honestly curious about it because I feel obligated to. And, again, it's because of the financial situation that we're privileged enough to be in that, like, I feel like we should be buying gifts as well. But in theory, like, I can't imagine feeling like
somebody should be obligated to give me a gift.
And so I'm curious, like, and I do know that a lot of that shift changes when you're getting married and like you're in the thick of that. And so like I can't relate to it. So like I want to know why.
Yeah.
Okay, then we have writer number 2 versus telling the company they overpaid the writer. 54% said the writer is wrong. 46% said the writer is not wrong. We're pretty evenly split.
The writer did write in.
Hi, I'm the one who wrote in about my pay slip that you talked about in the recent pod. I'm in Australia and it's completely illegal for them to take the pay out of pay slip. So that wasn't, out of her pay slip, like a coworker. So that wasn't my concern. And taxes weren't a concern as the way our pays have it here it means I've already paid taxes on it and it won't affect their taxes. Basically, it would never be found out unless they looked at the cameras and saw I wasn't at work when I was paid to be. I'm going to be honest with y'all and admit that I kept it, which I feel less guilty about when they took ages to give me my final payout. Thank you for your thoughts, though.
I still don't know if they won't know, because I think when they assess how many hours that were worked that month, it might come up over, and then they're going to figure it out. And it might not happen now, but it might happen by the end of the quarter. So just be aware. Yeah,
I would just make sure that you don't keep that money as discretionary income. Like, don't spend that like on the chance, because like we don't all know the legal loopholes and things of like how they can recoup money and whatever all of that stuff is, that like regardless of where you are, it's highly unlikely that there's no way that they can get that said money back from you, like legally.
Yeah. A lot of people, actually 3 or 4 people wrote in that said that this has happened to them, and then they eventually took the money.
Yeah. And so it's like, I'm glad I didn't spend it, and like I had the money to give back. So that's what I would, I would just make sure you keep
cautionary.
That. Yeah.
I don't think you did the right thing, but anyway.
I get it though.
Yeah. Writer number 3 versus family who raised voice at family member who was being an asshole. That was written incorrectly.
Sorry.
It could have been me.
I think it was me.
So who is wrong? 12% said the writer is wrong. 88% said the family is wrong.
Then writer number 4, who thinks she should be more important than her boyfriend's friends. 69% said the writer is wrong. 31% said the writer is not wrong. A lot of people who voted saying the writer is wrong also said that, like, you know, the sentiment is not incorrect, but the phrasing of this is, because it doesn't match up to like what you're saying and the priorities of it. But then someone else is also saying that like it really depends on how planned ahead everything is, because like, you know, you should be spending time with like partners, family and friends and like their circle and all of that kind of stuff to get like a good sense of who they are, and like so your lives aren't so isolated. But it's about like the expectations.
Yeah. The writer wrote in, asked us not to read it, but they're not together anymore. Long story short. All right, and then wrong of the week, Askern Medical Practice who accidentally texts patients they had lung cancer. 97% said Askern is wrong. 30% said Askern is not wrong.
This text message is unhinged.
Yeah.
It literally says thanks at the bottom. Thanks.
From the forwarded letters at CMP, he has asked for your DS 1500 for the above patient. Diagnosis aggressive. So this...
It looks like an internal message.
Yes, it was an internal message. But again, why are they texting this?
No. Whatever happened to Morse code carrier pigeons? Like
anything.
And how is there an ability?
Operators.
Yeah, bring the operators back. Like, how is there an ability to like? Oh no, this is supposed to be an internal message to. I would hope like one person, and it accidentally gets sent to like all of the like patients. Like that's a functional error of the system. You shouldn't be able to make that mistake.
Yeah.
Then my wrong of the week is Logan Paul. 100% said.
As a podcast network, our first priority has always been audio and the stories we're able to share with you. But at Realm, we also sell some pretty cool merch, and organizing that was made both possible and easy with Shopify. When you think about successful businesses like Aloe or Allbirds or Skims, an often overlooked secret is the business behind the business that makes selling and, for shoppers, buying simple. For millions of businesses, that business is Shopify. That's because nobody does selling better than Shopify. It's the home of the #1 checkout on the planet. And the not-so-secret secret that's definitely worth talking about is that Shop Pay boosts conversions up to 50%. That's more happy customers and way more sales going. If you're hoping to grow your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling, on the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more, sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout we use with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/realm, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/realm to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/realm.
Said Logan is wrong. 0% said Logan is not wrong.
Self-explanatory.
Yeah. Fuck Logan Paul.
Yeah, so that's all the wrongs and rights of the week. I'm looking forward to this week. Next week.
Yeah, me too. I think it'll be interesting to see what people say. Someone did say that they wanted us to talk about just people who moved to Puerto Rico for taxes for wrong of the week. Like, I don't feel like that's... I don't want to say that's not compelling, but I'm like, that is a huge part of that. And there's also...
You already did it, though.
Yeah. And it's... I think it's just like low-key... I don't love to be... I don't often find myself surprised by capitalism. Like, it's... But the concept that you can outwardly say, I'm moving to... I'm like a white dude from, I don't know, whether from Kansas, like Iowa, something, like, who lives in LA. I'm moving to Puerto Rico for tax reasons. Like, the fact that you can just say that, and there's a lot, like, I would probably say the vast majority of his audience who's like, oh, sick, cool idea. Like, that sounds great. Co-signing that, to me, that even just seems like you shouldn't even be allowed to do that.
Yeah, but there are loopholes for a reason.
It's one thing to move to a different state, and also all the shit always fucking evens out, but like...
It's technically a different state, though.
Well...
That's the thing, is that technically it is a territory of the United States. So don't you need a passport or anything? You can just move there. And that's part of the problem.
Yeah. What's the difference between a territory and a colony?
Nothing.
I know, but I wonder if they changed the name because colony is... This definition, granted, it's the first one that pops up, but it's also coming from Quora. And it says, colonies are areas that your own people start to inhabit to replace the indigenous population. A territory is just a geographic term for a piece of land. You can rule a territory without colonizing it. Mm-hmm. How can you rule a territory without colonizing it? Because ruling a territory that's not yours is...
Because that's technically Puerto Rico is ruled, but it's not like... There wasn't like a mass exodus from people from the mainland that moved there.
Okay, so it's like semantics, essentially.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's just...
But, and then you think about like the 13 original colonies, it was people from Europe came over and took over America.
Yeah.
And that didn't happen in Puerto Rico. There's still, the majority of people that live in Puerto Rico are still Puerto Ricans.
So Americans, the pro... colonizing Americans, their mindset is we're ruling them, but we didn't go in and slaughter all of them, so it's not bad.
Yeah.
We're improving.
So
we're learning.
If the people that keep moving there for taxes become the majority, then it's a colony.
To me, this is just like setting the lobster in a cold pot and turning the heat up, where it's like, well, we're not going to just go in with machetes, but we're going to give people incentives to push you out. Yeah. It's just a slow burn.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just think it's I just think that's like so wild that you can just do that, because I would also think that, I mean, it probably does, but if I worked for the IRS, anyone who said that to me, I would go, I'm going to look into you for some sort of tax evasion, because if you're willing to like uproot and move your whole life for tax benefits, I'm going to bet you have not maybe paid what you were supposed to pay.
Or they were paying and got fed up with it, which is a problem still.
Yeah,
because the people that can uproot and move that are doing it, they're going, and they're people that have a lot of money, and so they're trying to not pay their fair share, which people that have a lot of money already don't pay their fair share.
I feel like you've already utilized all the loopholes, and so then the last ones, the relocation.
It's selfish. The way that they were taking over the beaches and saying they were private beaches when they're not, disgusting.
And then they were just like littering, like literally, like, first of all, there are lots of like horrible things to do in the world, but there's one that you're like literally taught in elementary school that's like, don't litter. And you litter for what? I can't imagine just throwing garbage in public and being like, eh.
I had pissed somebody right in front on the side of my house. They left some In-N-Out bag and cup.
And they didn't get you any?
They didn't get me any one, but they just left their trash there. And I was like,
disgusting.
If you're over here, you're clearly going to a house, so take the trash inside.
Yeah. Ew, that's so weird.
Yeah.
It's like kicking a dog. Like, it's just something that's just like, you learn to not do this a long time ago.
What's up, everyone? It's Noah Daniels.
Hey, y'all, I'm JJ.
Hey, guys, it's Kat.
And we're your hosts of the Real Hauntings podcast, where we bring on guests to share their first-hand encounter ghost stories and supernatural experiences. Now on to the trailer.
I've been warned to not tell this story, but I think because of the way it ends, it's okay to tell this story, because some people say that with certain entities, to like speak of them or talk about them or in any way like portray them as powerful will attract them to other people. The creepiest thing about it to me is a lot of times it would wait for me to notice it. Like, it would just lay its arm out like this, and then I'd be like, where is it? Where is it? And then I'd see it, and then it would just slither back.
For more information on the Real Hauntings, Real Ghost Stories podcast, make sure you check out real.fm to learn more about our podcast and many other amazing podcasts.
You can't be like, I'm learning and growing. And in terms of littering, like, what? No, you didn't have to do a beach cleanup. What do you do when you don't live near a beach and you have to do like in like elementary school and stuff? What do you clean?
The street.
Okay. That's not as fun. What about cars?
Do car washes.
No, but like there are cars coming.
Oh, it's usually like if you go during a school day, there's not really like a lot of cars coming because they're not a busy area.
As an adult, that sounds angry.
Honestly, in school, we didn't really go pick up trash.
Oh.
No. I did in college. It was like part of like volunteer work. We'd go do it, but not during school.
Maybe like other like lots of
that sounds like your area wanted to get some free labor out of the children.
Yes.
That's what that was.
And also remember alternative learning. So we did a lot of field trips. We went to like the reservoir. We like learned about the water cycle and how to clean our beaches and protect our. I mean,
we did go to the reservoir and learn about the water cycles, but we just weren't cleaning up.
I would like to know anyone else who lived by the beach, who lived by the coast. Did you also just have to do beach cleanups? Because I feel like that might have been just.
I think they were just
a like they were like, we've got a bunch of elementary school kids here. Let's have them clean up these beaches.
Yeah.
I do wonder if some of the kids in San Francisco, they definitely had to go to like different beaches, because there's a couple beaches that like it's just condoms and needles, and there's no way that they were doing that. Like we were picking up plastic bottles. Like I wonder if they did a sweep of the dangerous items first and then we did it. I love a good field trip. Oh, wow. Okay. I called it a field trip. You called it potato. As a kid though, like I was like, let me labor. Like this is, I loved an activity.
Our field trips, well, I lived everywhere. So I've had a little bit of everything for field trips.
Yeah, you had like a lot of really cool ones.
Go skiing.
For a field trip?
Well, one of them, like we had a couple a year that were field trips, and then like if you were part of ski club, then you went every week.
Yeah, we had ski club too.
It was really fun.
I was part of hacky sack club, which is
that sounds like I mean, people did hacky sack, but it wasn't a club. It was just like before school.
With something like 5 million podcasts, finding a really good one can take a ton of time. So let me recommend one. It's called Something You Should Know. I'm the host, Mike Carruthers, and in each episode, we discuss topics that can be really helpful, like how to read people better, the psychology of crowds, or fun things like the story of Legos, or why you probably wouldn't be here if it weren't for horses. Something You Should Know is the name of it, wherever you get your podcasts.
Yeah, people were gathering around a hacky.
That's exactly what it was, but we formed it a club so then we could just use the club money to buy weed. Anyways, I'm terrified to have children. If they're anything like Mott's and I were growing up, and he had great parents, and he was still like, but also to be fair, his parents like, they turned a blind eye to a lot of shit. He was cute, he was smart, and so they were like, you know, you're not getting pregnant. Do what you're gonna fucking do. But if we have, I'm gonna know all the tricks. We both are.
Yeah, but like, you're fine.
No, I am fine, and I will be a way better parent. You know, and so I think about that with kids, where I'm just like, if I turned out fine in spite of it, not because of it, in spite of it, my kid, like, they'll be.
Yeah.
We'll get it figured out.
I know people that, you know, people say, you'd bring a child into this world. I'm like, we've been worse off in the past. Like, things are
We've
better.
Been a lot worse before.
Yeah, like, things are better. That's think just short-sightedness.
And ecofascism. Like, I do think that some of the people who are just like, our Earth is on it's on the brink of collapse, and like you would bring a child into this world, like that's like so incredibly selfish, blah blah blah. And I'm like, do you remember like the potato famine or the Great Depression, like
slavery?
Like
do you remember like people only living until they were like 30 was the average age?
The bubonic plague.
We're a lot better off than polio. Not even that far. Like people were just dying of polio. That wasn't even that long ago.
Do you know that people had children and went into childbirth before? Not only before we had epidurals, before we had antibiotics.
Yes.
Like like they're using axes and shit to like cut all like. Come on.
Yeah.
Come on. It's not nearly as bad as it has been. And I would like anyone to find a time when it was better. Yeah. That's the part that it's so wild to me, that they're just like, well, everything's going to shit. And I go, so where do you see as the peak? If this is the pit? Because if you think everything is the pit, then therefore everything is also the peak.
Yeah. Yep.
You know? Anyways.
Well, on that note, see you on Monday.
Yeah.
I hope you enjoyed this fisting.
I hope this was satisfying for you and wherever you personally took this fisting.
Yeah.
The fisting of the mind. Good night.
Bye. Welcome to the small town of Chinook, where faith runs deep and secrets run deeper. In this new thriller, religion and crime collide when a gruesome murder rocks the isolated Montana community. Everyone is quick to point their fingers at a drug-addicted teenager, but local deputy Ruth Vogel isn't convinced. She suspects connections to a powerful religious group. Enter federal agent V.B. Laureau, who has been investigating a local church for possible criminal activity. The pair form an unlikely partnership to catch the killer, unearthing secrets that leave Ruth torn between her duty to the law, her religious convictions, and her very own family. But something more sinister than murder is afoot, and someone is watching Ruth.
Chinook, starring Kelly Marie Tran and Sanaa Lathan. Listen to Chinook wherever you get your podcasts.
Hi, I'm Jennifer, a founder of the Go Kid Go network. At Go Kid Go, putting kids first is at the heart of every show that we produce. That's why we're so excited to introduce a brand new show to our network called The Search for the Silver Lining, a fantasy adventure series about a spirited young girl named Isla who time travels to the mythical land of Camelot. Look for the Search for the Silver Lining on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts.